Namaste everyone. Today I'm going to talk about a very interesting topic about squares, trines, and your past life, and also the energy that they give off during a transit. Okay, and first of all, I want to start off by saying that a lot of people think that the square is a very maleficent energy because, you know, it's a 90-degree angle, and usually the pictures that I post on Instagram when there's a square is usually either a stale energy or an exciting energy like a tornado, because tornadoes are formed with a 90-degree angle. Okay, let's say for example, if the wind is blowing and it starts to circulate in a square shape, it becomes a tornado. It's a 90-degree angle. Okay, that energy is it's contained. Okay, there's a friction going on. Now people get the idea that squares are bad. Okay, and let me tell you, squares are not bad. Okay, in order to form a diamond, you have to have it under friction, you have to have it under pressure. And a square signifies pressure, all right? And when we have a transit that has to do with squares, all right, we might find that the day starts off difficult. Haven't you noticed? Maybe your car breaks to go to work, or maybe you're having a bad hair day because it's in aspect with your first house, yourself, okay? Maybe you are already having a bad day because it started to rain in your area, okay, and it started to affect your allergies or whatever. And that square, it starts to create a friction within you, and you start to gain like some sort of, I wouldn't say negative energy, because negative, you know, I don't want to be polarized here in this topic, but I would say that you would probably start to feel pressure, okay, because you have to perform during the day. But you have this pressure going on. So what do you do with this pressure? And sometimes this pressure is not released, okay? It's suppressed. You can't really talk to everybody about negative problems or how bad your day started. So you kind of suppress this energy. But what happens if you find an outlet, if you become an alchemist? What happens if you transform this energy, this really, really tough pressure? What happens? You form a diamond, okay? You get value out of it, out of that experience. All right, maybe your car broke down this morning, okay, to get to work. But guess what? Okay, that cute guy that you saw across the street helped you go to work, okay? And he saw that you were, you know, stressed out and this and that, and then he came and helped you, okay? And then you told him your problems because you weren't thinking right, and yet he understood, and you had a conversation about this, and guess what? You got closer to him, okay? That's how it started off. That's what a square, okay? And the square made a diamond. Now let's talk about the trines. All right, now a trine is a facilitated energy. Okay, it's like this. I don't remember how the angle, I don't remember what angle it is, but if you want, write it down in the comments because I forgot. But a trine is like this. It basically forms a triangle. Okay, and the energy is facilitated. If you see a triangle, the light comes in and you see rainbows forming. Okay, it creates an easier reality. But don't mistake a trine for good either, because you might start off the day real good, okay? Everything's going your way. You get to your car, okay, it starts right, okay, you're feeling good. But guess what? You get overconfident, okay, and you start driving faster. Okay, you start to use this energy the wrong way. See, it's all about willpower. Okay, the energy was very facilitated, and maybe there was an angle with third house, which has to do with communication and transportation, with sixth house and your seventh house, okay, and it formed a trine or whatever, and you know, you felt a good drive, you know, and guess what? You got into an accident. So you have to learn how to master these energies and become an alchemist. Okay, you just can't let it, trample over you. You have to really take control of the planets. You have to go to war with these planets. Okay, and going to past life, if you have a square in your chart, okay, it denotes that there's something you need to work on, okay, and the clues are what house it falls. That's where the clues are at, and what do you need to work at? Maybe in your past life you didn't finish something, or you were horrible at something, okay, and that's the karma now. Okay, the square is signifying something that you really need to carve out as a diamond in this life. Okay, you need to overcome that. All right, and also I wanted to mention is that the closer the square is to being a square, okay, the more that energy is concentrated, the more stronger that energy is, that you really need to get that done. But the more However, if it's not too much of a square, then it signifies, you know, that potential that you were getting there, okay, to being that, you know. So fix it now before, if you don't fix it now, then the next life's going to be more of a square and you're going to have more of a friction. So fix it. And if you were born with a trine, you have that energy facilitated. However, be careful how you use that energy, okay? If someone is born, for example, okay, let's say Bruce Lee was born with, I think, the Pluto, okay, squaring the sun, something like that. If he's born with a square, so it has to do with power. When we're talking about Pluto, it has to do with power. So right there and then, that square that he was born with, it's giving him a friction to, you know, build himself up, you know, be intense. Okay, he could either be a killer or a protector. Okay, it's up to him. It's all about willpower. Whatever he does is going to be a diamond at the end. It's going to be a negative diamond or a positive diamond. But I'm just saying. But if he was born with a trine, with a Pluto trine, that intensity will be channeled easier, but it won't be of self-growth because he already had that already from past life. So it won't be much of an impact as a square, you know. He probably wouldn't be that famous, okay, because he wouldn't probably be fighting for it. He would have already attained that energy of Pluto. However, how he would use it, that's another story, okay, in a trine, all right? So, because when you die, okay, when you die, your ego, okay, dies too, because your ego belongs to your body, your super ego, okay? When you're floating around, you're only conscious and you're only observing. You can't even form an I. You can't even say, I am, oh, who am I? Who's talking and who's listening? You can't do that. You're going to be observing, okay? And that's the consciousness. And if you don't realize during consciousness, okay, what's going on, then, you know, you get confused and you'll just be reborn again. That's why the Egyptians had things around them during the 40 days that the soul was roaming around. So the soul could be reminded of who they were, and they could choose either a human body or choose the light, which is automatically another dimension, but that's another story. So initially, when you die, your ego is gone too, okay? And when you go into another vessel, all right, you're born into the blueprint of the stars, and the stars will indicate your soul level, okay, at the soul level that you are, okay? And that'll tell you if you have squares or trines, and those trines and squares will tell you your soul evolution, you know, your karma. It'll give you a clue of your karma, because you can't remember your past life. It'll defeat your purpose of learning lessons. Okay, if you know your past life, you're going to say, oh, this is easy. I'm just going to do this so I could, you know. So you don't remember anything. You only have clues, okay, to direct you, okay, direct you. You only have a map to direct you. So when you're born and you have a new ego, I'm no longer Celestial Priestess. I'm no longer a Lotus 9, you know. I don't have that ego anymore once I'm dead, because that ego is gone with my body. The ego belongs to the body. The ego is an identification of your body, of who you became in this lifetime. Okay, people were able to live 1,000 years before. Okay, why is that? Okay, they didn't go through this process of, you know, reincarnating and, you know, doing all that process again, because it's so difficult. That's a very difficult process, to be born again and gain another ego, you know, for what? You know how difficult that is? Okay? But people used to live 1,000 years. Now what happened? I don't know. The light code was just shut down. However, you see other animals, it takes them like a year or two to become adults. We're the only ones that take about, I think, 13 years to become adults. That means that we should have a longer lifespan. So once you're born again, okay, whatever it is that you did before, okay, is going to determine how your ego will be structured based on the energies that you know, that you have on your chart, that you gained, the dharma that you gained. Okay, where are you left off? Okay, have you been perfected? Okay, or maybe you created new stuff that now you have to perfect again. Okay, you create a new karma, or maybe new dharma, but you know, more of a karma. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you found it interesting. And namaste.